The Uninvited Guest, Chapter 4, The Revelation. Sarah woke with a start, disoriented and momentarily forgetting where she was. Then the events of the previous night came flooding back and she sat up abruptly, her heart racing. She was in a small, bare room at the police station, provided as a temporary safe haven until they could figure out what to do next. Sarah glanced around for a clock but couldn't find one. The only light came from a single window high on the wall, suggesting it was still early morning. Sarah swung her legs over the side of the cot and stood up, stretching stiff muscles. She needed to use the restroom badly and wondered if she was allowed to leave this room unattended. Before she could ponder further, a knock sounded at the door. Sarah jumped slightly, but then called out for whoever it was to enter. The door opened, and Detective Larson stepped inside, holding 2 cups of coffee. He smiled apologetically as he handed one to Sarah. "Sorry for the intrusion so early," he said, "but I thought you could use this." Sarah accepted the coffee gratefully and took a bracing sip. The warmth spread through her, chasing away some of the chill that had settled in her bones. "So what's the plan now?" she asked hesitantly, unsure if she wanted to hear the answer. Detective Larson sat down on the edge of the cot and gestured for Sarah to do the same. "We've been investigating further," he began, and it turns out there have been more reports of similar incidents across the city in recent weeks. Sarah felt a cold knot form in her stomach. More people being hurt by their cats. Detective Larson nodded solemnly. "And not just that," he continued. "We found an old case file from decades ago detailing nearly identical occurrences. It seems this isn't the first time something like this has happened." Sarah's mind raced, trying to process this new information. "What do you think it means?" she asked. Detective Larson sighed heavily. "Honestly, I'm not sure yet," he admitted, "but we're starting to suspect there might be some kind of supernatural element at play here." Sarah felt a flicker of relief at hearing him say the words out loud. Finally, someone else was acknowledging what she'd been fearing all along. "We've reached out to a local expert in occult phenomena for advice," Detective Larson continued, "and he's agreed to come in and consult with us today." Sarah perked up slightly at this news. "Do you think he can help?" Detective Larson shrugged. "I'm hoping so," he replied. "In the meantime, I need to ask you some more detailed questions about your experiences with Whiskers. Anything you might have forgotten or not thought was relevant could be important." Sarah nodded her understanding and took another sip of coffee for fortification. She braced herself for the interrogation to come, knowing every detail counted now. As Detective Larson began his questioning, Sarah's mind wandered back over the events of the last few weeks, trying to recall anything that might shed light on this unnatural situation. One memory surfaced with sudden clarity the day Whiskers had returned from being lost. He'd seemed different then, more energetic and aggressive than usual. And there had been an odd scent clinging to him, musky and strange. At the time, Sarah had dismissed it as simply a result of him having been outside for days on end. Now, though, she wondered if that day had marked some kind of transformation in Whiskers. Perhaps he'd encountered something out there that had changed him fundamentally. Sarah made a mental note to mention this detail to Detective Larson later. For now, though, she focused on recounting every other bizarre occurrence involving Whiskers since his return. As they talked, Sarah felt a glimmer of hope kindling in her chest. Maybe, just maybe, they could find a way to stop whatever evil force had taken hold of her beloved pet and was now preying on the innocent people of the city.